Welcome to DC Dark Legion, an official DC game. Say goodbye to the fakes out there because this one right here is the real deal. DC Dark Legion is a new game adaptation of Scott Snyder's Dark Knight's Metal series. The game is available now on iOS and Google Play for mobile devices and on PC via the official website. It's free to play and almost all champions released at launch can be unlocked for free. There'll be a download link in the description box below, and you can also use my special gift code DCDL999 to get tons of resources to help jumpstart your brand new account. DC Dark Legion has the original voice acting dubs for amazing heroes like Batman's voice actor, Roger Smith.
It's not about recognition. It's about justice.
Along with voice acting for The Flash, the Joker, Harley Quinn, Green Lantern, and Aquaman. The game features many of your favorite DC heroes and villains, with amazing visuals and artwork. The game is cross-platform and playable at any time. A strategy game with RPG features and PvP battles. In this video, we're going to be going over our best beginner's guide with a wide variety of topics to cover. Down below in the description box, you will see timestamp codes for all of the different topics I will be covering. All right, for the first part of our best beginner's guide, we're going to be taking a look at the Batcave base. We have a ton of different rooms that we can go ahead and construct, and each one is going to give us different bonuses, different things to help us power up and become even stronger. Now, I want to just go over a couple of what I would say the most important buildings or the most important rooms in the Batcave. The first one being the war room over here. The war room is like your city hall, your town hall, your main function. This dictates pretty much everything with your main base. It's going to determine the maximum level that your other buildings or your other rooms can be. See the little 9 in the bottom right corner where the war room is? That means that none of my other rooms can exceed level 9. So you always want to make sure you are upgrading your war room as much as possible. The other thing is, once you go ahead and you start upgrading your war room, you're going to expand your territory in your Batcave. If we go to the bottom, we can see that the elevator is still broken and we need to upgrade the war room to level 10. Once we get it to level 10, we'll actually unlock another floor. So you can see right now, I already have a bunch of floors unlocked, and with unlocking new floors comes new rooms like the drone, bio lab, the armory, research laboratory, so on and so forth. Now, the cool thing about the war room is it actually has its own separate builder. So what it means by that is you can always build or upgrade the war room and it will not take up one of your construction slots. So if I go to one of these other rooms, let's go to the library. If I was to go ahead and upgrade this, it's actually going to take up one of my construction slots. So if I click this little icon right here, we can see that the war room, we can upgrade this all the time as long as we have the amount of resources needed. The next room that's going to be really important is the drone room right here. So what this room does is it actually goes ahead and it passively will generate you drones. Now, what the drones are used for is speed ups. So you're going to use these drones to go ahead and speed up the building timers. Specifically, what I like to do is I like to use my drones exclusively on my war room upgrade timer, because once you do get to like higher levels, the timers can get really high. So like currently, when I upgraded my war room to 9, it was like a 7-hour timer. I went ahead, I used a ton of my drones that I had saved up, cut that down to like 3 hours. So really, one of the most important buildings is the drone room. The more drones you have, the faster you can build your base. The next one is going to be the armory. Now, the armory is amazingly important because it lets us craft new gear. Now, there are a bunch of different ways that we can get gear. We can kind of get gear through different game modes and stuff like that. But if we go to the crafting area, we have a couple different helmets right here. We've got this super heavy bat suit. This is for a warrior and a guardian. And then we could also go ahead and craft this Black Hawk stealth armor that could be used for assassins, magical, or firepower. But once we go ahead and we level this armory up to a certain degree, we're going to unlock that higher rarity gear. So you can see at level 12, we can start crafting legendary gear. We got mythic and mythic plus, legendary plus. So this is another very, very important building. You always want to be going ahead and upgrading this so that way you can craft higher rarity gear, making your champions even stronger. The next room is going to be the research laboratory. Now this is where we can go ahead and do our tech research. So if we click on the tech icon, we've got construction and combat. What I'm going to recommend first is you go ahead and start upgrading your construction research because there's a lot of amazing bonuses in here. So if we scroll down just a little bit, we've got this one, construction efficiency. This is going to speed up our construction time so that way it's not going to take as long. Right now you can see I've got a 10% reduction in the time it takes for me to go ahead and upgrade those rooms, those buildings. So really, really important. I would personally suggest going through this construction area. We also have stuff like research boost. It's going to decrease the amount of time it costs to go ahead and research these upgrades. So you can see we got a 60-second reduction right now. Upgrading this will add another 60 seconds. So 120-second reduction on whatever timer we have for research. Now, one of my tips that I have is for this, you don't need to level these all up to like the highest level. What you should do is do them like level 1. So see how I have all these 3 right here at level 1? That way I unlock the construction efficiencies next and then just kind of go down there. So these bigger nodes give you the best bonuses as opposed to like the smaller ones. And the last room that I want to talk about is going to be the training nexus. This goes ahead and this will passively generate you XP tokens or XP resources that you can use to go ahead and level up your champions, your heroes, your villains. But the important thing is once you get the training nexus to level 6, you're going to unlock the level sync. So in the bottom right corner, you see that little exclamation mark? If we click where it says level sync, this is where we can go ahead and we can put our other heroes, villains, our champions in here, and it will mimic or copy the level for the lowest character's level. So what this does is it helps us so that we only really need to build out or level up 5 main characters. So that way, anytime we go ahead and we unlock a new character from the gacha system, we can just go ahead, put them in the level sync, and it will instantly bump their level up, saving us resources instead of having to constantly build up a brand new champion from level 1 up and waste tons of materials. Just put them in here and it will mimic that lowest level. So you can see I got 5 champions right now at level 40, and just like that, they will now be instantly level 40. You can go ahead and you can remove them. Let's say, hey, I don't want to use this champion anymore. You will have a 1-hour cooldown, which isn't bad. So you can go ahead and you can remove them. This will increase the amount of champions you can have as you go ahead and upgrade this as well. So just upgrading the training nexus will increase those sync slots. All right, let's take a look at our champions next. First thing is, how do we get new champions, right? How do we unlock new ones? Well, there's a couple different ways. The first way is going to be through the recruitment. So if we go to champions, you can see it says recruitment is the gacha center, which goes ahead and lets you summon for new champions. You can get an entire champion, or you can get shards or fragments for a champion. And then once you go ahead, you get 10 of those shards. You can unlock one of these champions, or if you already have the champion unlocked, you can see that you can use those emblems, those shards, to star them up as well. Starring up a champion is going to go ahead and unlock new skills, or if you already have all of their skills unlocked, what it can do is upgrade their already existing skills. And the other way to go ahead and unlock characters or get character shards is going to be through the planetary energy keys. As you go ahead and decode these, you can get shards for different rarity champions. So with the green one, we can get a legendary champion shard. Blue has a chance to get legendary, but then once we get to the purples, yellows, and reds, we have a chance to unlock a mythic champion or get a mythic champion shard. Now to level up a champion, it's going to cost us some resources, it's going to cost us some dollars, and then it's also going to cost us those XP chips as well. And all you got to do is click down here, upgrade, to instantly upgrade their level, and it will increase their stats, making them stronger. Now every 10 levels, you are going to need to go ahead and raise their level cap, or what I like to call level limit break them. When you see this big yellow icon says raise level cap, we're going to click it. You're going to need another type of resource called stimulators. So you can get these a variety of different ways. You can see all the sources: training simulator, meta brawl, so on and so forth. You're going to need those in order to raise the cap. Now in the top left corner, right above the power icon, you're going to notice some of these badges. Each champion is going to have different badges depending on what kind of character they are. We click on one of these badges, we can see that for Harley Quinn, we got the Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, and finally Weapon Master. Now these special traits or badges will give you bonuses when that champion is paired up with other champions that have those badges. If we take a look at Weapon Master, for an example, when we have a team that has at least 3 Weapon Masters, the attack of all the Weapon Master champions is going to be increased by 10%. If we take a look at the Birds of Prey one, with 3 Birds of Prey allies present, the lifesteal of all Birds of Prey champions is going to be increased by 15%. So it's really important to go ahead and do some team building and match those badges up so you can get those bonuses. We also have gear at the bottom. If we click the little gear icon, we can put gear on our champions, making them stronger, increasing their stats. Also, each character can have a special weapon. So in this right corner, you're going to see this little plus icon. I do not currently have a weapon on Catwoman, but if we take a look at Black Adam, we do have one over here. If we click on this, we have the Lawton Rifle Scope. So this is going to increase our attack. We're getting it increased to our crit rate as well. Now that's just a purple epic one. There are some really super duper rare ones. If we take a look at the one that I have on the Red Hood, this is a red mythic one. And this is the Dart with Poison Ivy Poison. You don't necessarily need to have Poison Ivy in order to use this weapon. You could put this on these specific classes, so Firepower, Magical, and Assassin can use this. It obviously will work maybe a little bit better with Poison Ivy, but still any of those classes will benefit. So we're getting an increase to our different stats, but we're also getting this extra skill bonus as well. Ivy's Kiss. Now once you go ahead and you get your War Room to level 9 and you get your champion to level 21, you're going to unlock the Force. So in the bottom right corner, you can see a little exclamation mark. Click on the Force. This is kind of like a building out a skill tree for this champion. And we can go ahead and we can increase a variety of different stats, and we can choose, which nodes we want to go through. So right now we got the Red Hood, and we can see that the first one's going to give us an attack boost. It's going to increase our attack by 150. We have another one where we have Below the Hood Enhanced. This is actually going to enhance one of our special abilities. And then if we take a look at another one, we can increase the Red Hood's attack by 2%, so on and so forth. This is a really awesome. This is one of my favorite parts of this game, is the Force, because it really gives you that RPG sense of, hey, how do I want to build out this character? Do I want to prioritize upgrading their stats or upgrading some of these additional skills to make them more powerful? All right, let's head on over to the map and take a look at some game modes, some gameplay. Now in the world map, there's a couple different things going on. We have our main campaign in here with the yellow icon. This is where we can go ahead, rescue civilians. We're going to need civilians to go ahead and help upgrade our base, as well as reputation. Reputation is really important because we need reputation in order to go ahead and level up our war room. So we can go ahead and we can enter through here, and we're going to go through this city. Now we're just going to click the little steps icon, and we're going to travel throughout the city. We're going to get dialogue along the way. And at the top, you're going to see our progress bar. So we got a couple different bars that we're going to reach before we actually get into a battle. So right now we're going ahead and we're rescuing some civilians. And then once we get to that bar with that little like skull icon with the horns, then we are going to go ahead and have to do battle with some enemies. So we can see we got a warning going on. Next one is going to do battle. So here we go. We're jumping into battle right now. What we're going to do is we're going to do auto deploy. It's just going to put out our strongest characters. We can see what the enemies have for their class descriptions. We can see they got 2 tanks up front. We're going to go ahead. We're going to click fight. Now this plays out completely auto because it is a idle RPG game. We do have the ability though to turn off the auto, and we can kind of activate our heroes, our champions abilities when we want to by just clicking their portrait when they have enough energy saved up. So you do have ability to decide when they activate those special ultimates, which is important. I will say that you don't always want to just have it on auto. Auto is good for kind of grinding through some of these missions very easily, but when you do face those harder bosses or those harder enemies, the timing of your ultimate abilities can be very, very crucial. You may not want to activate your healing ability if your team already has kind of like full health. If you have it on auto, it's going to instantly activate those ultimate abilities as soon as they are available. So there is benefits to both. So you're going to be playing on auto, and you're also going to be manually casting your champion's ultimate abilities. So go ahead, I'll put this one on auto for right now, so you can see that once those ultimates are filled up, it's just going to automatically cast it. You can also activate the animation effect as well, so it'll show the full ultimate animation ability. You can turn that on or off. It's fun to look at the first few times, but when you are going ahead and grinding levels, it does eat up a little bit of time. So I suggest, if you're going to just try and grind through the gameplay, going ahead and turning that off will, save you a few seconds for the battles. Now, aside from the main campaign, you're going to notice we got some green and blue icons going around, and these are going to be some additional things that we can do. So we have patrols. So we can go ahead and we can send a squad on a patrol. It's going to take a certain amount of time, and then upon completion, we're going to get a bunch of rewards at the bottom, including some civilians. So all you're going to do is click on dispatch, and then you can do auto deploy or whatever. You can see it's going to require a certain amount of champions, and then there is a power requirement. So for this one, we need a certain amount of power, 14,000, and we're going ahead, we're sending this squad, which has 44,000. So we meet the required power. We'll go ahead, we'll initiate, and we will send them out on a patrol. And after 3 minutes are up, we'll go ahead and we'll get that rewards. Now, remember how I said that in that research area, the research room, we can unlock additional squads? Well, this is where it comes into play. The more squads we have, the more patrols we can go on. So currently I have 2 squads unlocked, so we can actually send another patrol. So that way we can go ahead and bang out some of these patrols a lot faster. You're going to see our overall level for our world map. So right now I am a level 5. We have 3 out of 20, which means once we go ahead and we complete 17 more of these patrols or battles, we are then going to level up. As you go ahead and level up, you'll get access to different things. You can see that the task rarity is going to increase as you go ahead and you have a higher level. Right now, you can see the task rarity, it's still going to be greens and blues. But once you get that crisis response to a higher level, you're going to get access to higher rarity. We head on over to the bottom left corner, the SON. This is where we have a bunch of different game modes. We have the meta brawl. This is where our PvP is going on. If you're in a guild, we can go ahead and join the Rift. We've got the anti-crime network, which is an area where we can get different resources depending on the building that we choose to do. So we have this one right here, which is going to give us some XP in dollars. We have this one over here, which is going to give us alloy. And then we have this bottom one, which is going to give us the resource chips. So this is kind of like the resource area where we can do battle and climb the different levels. Next we have is the training simulator. This is a really awesome place to get What's very, very important resource, the stimulators. We need the stimulators in order to increase our champions level caps, but also depending on how high our level is in the training simulator, we're going to generate these XP tokens, XP chips passively. So you can see in that right corner, I just collected some, see that X2, and it'll slowly increase as well. The Dark Legion. So this is something that has to do with our guilds. So we can go ahead and do kind of like a patrol battle with our guild members. And it's kind of like setting a rally almost. And all of our team members will go ahead and attack one of these big boss monsters, and then we'll get a bunch of rewards. So this is like the main area where you can go ahead and do a bunch of different game modes, and you can get lots of different resources depending on what your needs are. Now I'm finishing this up with my last bonus tip, probably one of the most important ones that I know a lot of people are going to ask. In the top right corner, we have our premium currency, which is the source energy gems. A lot of people are going to ask, well, what is the best way to use my energy gems? There's going to be certain events that pop up, specifically the Interstellar Visitor. And this is an area where you can go ahead and you can use those gems to buy different packs. And some of these are really, really good offers. They'll give you a bunch of different things. This one right here, I would say, is probably the best one. The Advanced Galactic Quest Collection. For 2,500 gems, we're getting 30 summons at the bleed. That is a lot of summons. So right there, I think is an amazing one to buy. But this is like my #1 suggestion, the Interstellar Visitor area. Go ahead and click that link down below in the description box and start your journey right now in DC Dark Legion.